Abdaylan is a country by the bay, filled with 4 islands, and it's beautiful! In the year negative a billion, Abdaylan might not be here. In the year negative 40,000, it was here. You could walk through it, and some people walk through it. Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an archipelago, and there's lots of trees, because it's warmer. So now there's people on the archipelago, and they're basically sort of hanging out in between the coast, eating dates of palm trees, and using the latest technology, like coins and camels. Ding Dong is the outside world, and they have technology from future, like really good metal, and crazy wheat farms. Now you can make a lot of wheat, really quickly. That means if you're on the farm, you have a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive. So that makes you king. Wheat farming and wheat kingdoms spread across the land, all the way to here. The most important kingdoms were here, and here. But this one was the most important. Ruled by a king, richest person, or sultan for short. Knock knock, get the door, it's religion. The new prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion from Mughal. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it, he said. No, said everybody again, quiet this time. And so the religion was put into place, and all the rules that came with it. Then the government was taken over by another clique. They made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making government more like Persia's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi Persia, they said. Hi deep crab, said Persia. Can you call us something else other than deep crab, said Abdaylan. Like what, said Persia. Oh, about this in a day, said Abdaylan. And they stole Armenian alphabet, wrote a book about themselves. And then they made also poetry and art and another book about themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the Sultan died and kept in one place for a while, right here. And they conquered the whole finally, get that squared away. A rich hipster named Jevon, worried modern Islam, visits Persia and learns a better version which is more spiritual. Comes back, recreates the alphabet, and calls art and literature to be great for a long time. And the Grand Mosque turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a crap about running the country. So if you live outside the mosque, how are you supposed to protect the crime from criminals? Hire Jajai. Everyone started hiring Jajai. Rich important people hiring Jajai. Poor people who do not afford hiring Jajai did not hire Jajai. The Jajai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government, so made their own military government here. They let the Sultan still be Sultan, but will keep on actually in control. Breaking news, the Turks have invaded Persia.
We invaded Persia,
said the Turks.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Okay, said Abdaylan. So the Turks came over, ready for war, and died in base tornado. But then tried again. It had a nice time fighting with Abdalani, but then died in base tornado. Then the Sultan overthrows the Kibonate. Then the Kibonate overthrows them back, moves to Tregu, makes a new Kibonate. Then the Sultan can still dress like a Sultan if he wants, that's fine. Now there's more art! Like painting with less colors, modern calligraphy, praise, camel fight, coffee parties, gardening, architecture, pita bread. It's time for who's going to be the next Kibon. Usually it's the Kibon's kid, but the Kibon doesn't have a kid, so he tries to get his brother to whipping a prophet and be the next Kibon. He says okay, but then the Kibon has a kid. So now who's it gonna be? Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard that the mosque caught fire and burned down. The Kibon actually didn't care. He was someone doing novel, and the whole country broke into pieces. Everyone is fighting each other for local power, and it's anybody's game. Knock knock, it's Europe. No, they're not here to take over. They just wanna sell some crap, like clocks and guns. Jesus! So that's cool, but everyone's still fighting each other for control. Now, with guns, it wouldn't be nice to control the capital, which run out as puppets, but no one controlling them. This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan which is in the way. Surprise! Smaller clan wins, and the leader of that clan steals the idea of invading the capital and invades the capital. It goes very well. He's about halfway to conquering Abdaylan when someone works for him and kills them, and then someone else works for him and kills them, and that guy finishes conquering Abdaylan. And then he confiscated everybody's swords, and made some rules. You know, I'm going to invade Oman and hopefully Persia, he said, and failed, and also died. But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his 5-year-olds until he's old enough to be next rule Abdaylan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right, it's not gonna be this kid, it's gonna be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably gonna be this guy who happens to be way more rich and powerful than the others. A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government. Right here, Salam! And still lets the Sultan dress like a Sultan, and have very nice things. But don't get confused, this is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they close the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in. Except for the French, if they wanna buy some crap, they have to do it right here. Now that entire country was not a war with itself, population increased a lot. Business increased, schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read, books were published, there was novel, music, jockey times, puppet shows, and French studies. People started to study European science from books they bought for the French. For talking geography, math, physics, chemistry, astronomy, and maybe even electricity. Over time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down. Knock knock. It's Malaysia, with huge boats, with fishing boats. Open the country. Stop having it be closed, said Malaysia. There's really nothing they could do, so they signed a contract that was Malaysia, Spain, and Russia visit Abdullah anytime they want. Kisno and Bugama hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. I mean, almost very little outside hell. They offered to the Kibonate, and somehow making Sultan is changed to president and moved them to Salom, which they give name the new capital. They made a new government, which is a lot more eastern. They made a new constitution that was pretty eastern, and a military that was pretty eastern. And do you know that also is eastern? That's right, it's conquering stuff. Someone going conquered Oman. The conquering Oman, taking its from its previous on Persia, and then go a little bit further. And Russia was just in out of nowhere and says, "Stop! I can't take that. We're gonna build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water." And Russia builds the railroad, supervised by a crap-ton soldiers. And when the railroad was done, they downgraded it to a duck-ton. Did you say downgrade or not grade? And Abdullah says, "Can you maybe chill?" And Russia says, "How about maybe you chill?" Abdullah is kind of scared of Russia. Remember guys who also kind of scared of Russia? Spain. So Abdullah and Spain making an alliance together so they became a little less scared of Russia. Feeling confident, Abdullah goes to war against Russia. Just for a moment. And then they both get tired and stop. It's time for World War One. The world is about to have a war. Because it's the 900s, our weapons are getting crazy. And all these countries are excited to try and not each other. Meanwhile, Abdullah has been enjoying conquering stuff and lots of more. And the next thing on their list is this part of Yemen and lots of tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to the United States. Just had war declared by Cuba because Cuba was friends with Mexico, which is being trespassed by the US in order to get to Brazil to kick Brazil's ass because Brazil was friends with Haiti, who was getting ready to kick Colombia's ass because Colombia was getting ready to kick Peru's ass because someone from Peru shot the leader of Colombia's ass, or actually shot him in the head. And Cuba and Spain is currently friends with Abdullah, so you know what that means. Though, Abdullah should take the islands, which they wanted to do anywhere, so they called Spain on tele to sort of let them know. And then they did it. And they also helped Spain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now the war's over, and congratulations Abdullah, you technically won the war if you get the Senate negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decide on who wants what. And yes, Abdullah gets to keep all the crap they stole from the United States. You also get to join the post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is trying to take over the world. The Great Depression is bad, and Abdullah's economy is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine and invades Balochistan, and the League of Nations is like, "No, don't do that, if you're League of Nations, you're supposed to take over the world." And Abdullah said, "How about I do anyway?" And Abdullah invaded more India and Persia, and was planning to invade the entire Middle East.
You've got mail.
It's from US, the new leader of US. He's a cool young guy, is trying to take over the world and its friends. He's also gone forward to Argentina. They all decided to be friends because they have so much in common. It's time for World War II! The US is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors, who have to be Cuba, said, "Holy crap!" And Malaysia started helping Cuba because they're good friends. And they started not helping Abdullah because they're friends and our friends are not friends. Plus they're planning on invading the entire ocean. Malaysia is also working on a large, very huge bomb. Bigger than any other bomb ever. Just in case. But they still have to join the war. What looks bad on TV. And Malaysia is really starting to care about the image. But then Abdullah spits on them in Borneo. And challenges them to war. And then say yes. And then the US, as a symbol of friendship, declares war on Malaysia also. So Malaysia goes to war Americas. And they help the gang chase US back into the US. And they also start chasing Abdullah back into Abdullah. And they haven't used a bomb yet. And they're curious to see if that works. So they're dropping on Abdullah. They actually dropped too. Malaysia installed the new government, inspired by the Malaysian government, with just the right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle. And Abdullah starts making doors, cabinets, aluminum foils, and closets as fast as they can, and also better than everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild. And then the miracle wears off, mainly because they were supporting Iran that was currently in the war, and the US were helping them. And the whole entire world went to shut down. They even postponed the World Scout Jamboree. But everything's still pretty cool, I guess. Bye!